out there, YouTube? It's Little Rocker Cutie 2005, also known as Andre, back again with you guys on the Late Night Frights channel. And this week is actually, the theme this week is it's a trap theme. And I've seen what everybody else has been doing. I know All Random Things reviewed Saw, Chris Brock did a review of Cube, and I don't remember what the Jay Sloan did this week, but I hope everybody checks out their reviews as well. I kind of decided to go a little bit different with this. I was going to review Saw 2, but my Saw collection is actually packed up, so I decided to go with something that I had out, and it's something I recently picked up. If you saw the unboxing on my channel, this is something I recently picked up in a trade, and the movie I'm going to be talking about this week is Alien. Now, it doesn't necessarily, it's not entirely a trapped in one place movie. Some fans refer to it as like a haunted house in space, and some have referred to it as, you know, Halloween on a spaceship, but, you know, basically the story of Alien is you got these 7 space truckers, as they're called, and they're on a ship called the Nostromo, which is basically returning to Earth from a mission. Their ship is actually like an intergalactic tugboat, I would call it, but they're actually awakened from their what's known as cryosleep by a distress signal, which they land on this planet, and it's later found out that this distress signal is actually a warning. So when so 3 of them actually go into this derelict ship, and one of them that his name is Kane, he goes down into this hole and he finds all these eggs. If you know the story of Alien, you pretty much know how it's gonna happen. And, you know, Kane gets a face hugger stuck to his face, so they get him back on the ship. But of course, Ripley, who's our lead, Sigourney Weaver, you know, she basically says, you know, well, we've got to put him in quarantine. We got to know what's going on. And the captain, Dallas, played by Tom Skerritt, he's like, well, let us in. We gotta figure out what this is. So they take him to the medical bay, and he's laying there with this face hugger on his face for at least a couple days, I would think. And a couple days go by, and the thing just falls off, and they don't know what happened, what went on, but, you know, Kane's pretty much, like, he seems to be fine. So it's probably like a night later, and they're all having dinner, you know, talking, having a good time. And so, you know, Kane just starts, you know, he starts coughing and choking, and they don't know. They're like, well, what's going on? He ends up, like, falling backwards on the table, you know, just thrashing about, and you don't expect this coming, but this thing just, like, bursts out of his chest, and it's what they call the chest burster, and everybody's just freaked out. You know, one of them, I think it's Parker, the black guy, he's the only black guy on the ship. He grabs, like, a butter knife, and the science officer's like, don't touch it, don't touch it. The little thing goes, ah, and kind of just scurries off, and they're like, whoa. So they pretty much, you know, they go follow this thing, and they're like, what the hell was that? And so they're all looking around, you know, they're trying to figure out what this thing is and where it came from, and it's found out that this thing has it's got acid for blood, and they find that out because there's actually a scene where there's like a hole burnt, like a hole's been burnt, like through a little part of the ship, and it keeps going through to the bottom levels, and so that's when they find out, you know, it's acid. And so, you know, one of them, I think it's I think his name is what is his name? Not Parker. I know the actor's name is Dean Stanton. Oh shoot, I can't remember his name. If you guys know Dean Stanton's character's name, let me know in the comments, because I'm going off what I know, and I know this movie like the back of my hand, but I cannot remember his name. So he's basically, you know, the first to go, and he's in this room with all these, like, chains hanging down, and he's basically chasing Ripley's cat, which it's very weird for a cat to be on a spaceship, at least for me, because I would think, you know, what's a cat doing there? And so, you know, he's going after the cat, you know, Jonesy, come here, kitty, kitty, kitty. and the cat's just backing up, because he can see that there's something behind the guy, and the cat just like hisses. So, and the guy jumps back a bit, and he's like, well, I'm not gonna hurt you, and the cat's just growling. So the guy turns around, and there's this full-grown, just huge, like, alien, and starts opening its mouth, and it's got a second mouth, and then it just whack, just attacks him, and he's pretty much dead. So so the rest of them, you know, they're still trying to figure out what's going on. This alien's like picking them off, you know, one by one, and so it's basically come down to, like, I'm kind of skipping over because I'm trying to keep this as short as I can, because you guys know how my Wi-Fi is. It's complete crap. So the captain's, I'm just gonna jump ahead. You know, captain's been killed. There's one or two. There's Lambert, who's the other female officer, or other astronaut, Veronica Cartwright, and then Parker, the black guy, and Ash, the science officer, and Ripley. They're the four left, and so it's down to Parker and Lambert. They go off, you know, they're trying to get weapons and stuff to destroy this thing. And so, you know, you got Ripley and Ash. They're having this face-off because Ripley's gone into the computer room to find out, you know, what is this thing, you know, where did it come from? And the computer comes up, you know, like something like investigate, you know, life form, science officer eyes only, and she overrides the order, and it says, bring back life form, crew expendable. And so then Ash is right next to her, and she starts like, you knew, you son of a bitch. And so she starts going out, you know, to warn Parker and Lambert, and Ash, he's basically, you know, locking all the doors to keep her from leaving. And you see this little, like, drop of white stuff just start to go down his forehead, and it makes you think, you know, what, this guy isn't human. And so he starts attacking Ripley, trying to, you know, take her out. And so, forgive me, I got a runny nose, but, Parker and Lambert, they come in, and Parker just, like, starts hitting Ash over the head, and he knocks his head off, and you find out Ash is an android. And so he's basically, they electrocute him and basically put him out, and so they set him up in this, like, other room, and, like, his head's kind of, like, on the table, and his body's off to the side, and so they kind of get him running again, and they want to know, you know, what is this thing? What was your order? And Ripley's the one who confronts him. She goes, what was your special order? And he says in this weird voice, bring back life form, priority 1. All other priorities rescinded. And so basically, you know, crew is expendable. They're all just, you know, left for dead. And so they find out that, you know, you can't kill this thing. It's the perfect life form, and it's like, and the company that they're working for basically wants this thing as a weapon. So, you know, they incinerate Ash with a flamethrower, leave him for dead. Parker and Lambert, they go off to get weapons. The alien comes after them, takes them both out in one fell swoop, one right after the other. So now it's just Ripley, and, you know, she's running around with a flamethrower, trying to get away from this thing, you know, trying to escape the ship, and she's gonna blow it up and get out of there. So she gets her cat, you know, starts running, she makes it out of the ship, blows it up, and she's in the escape pod, right? And, you know, she thinks she's safe, and she gets to, like, the one part of the escape pod, and boom, right there pops out the alien, and it's just like, whoa. And so Ripley's in this spacesuit, and she's got like, I think it's like a grappling hook or something like that, and she fires it at him and blows him out the airlock, which is basically, you know, how she takes it out, and the movie pretty much ends there. You know, Ripley's giving her account of what happened, and it ends with, you know, she goes, "This is Ripley, last survivor of the Nostromo, signing off." And that's pretty much how the movie ends. And I gotta say, you know, Alien is a straight-up classic. One of my all-time favorites. I grew up with it, as well as the sequel, Aliens. Those are two of my favorite sci-fi horror movies. And before I end this video, I'm going to give you guys a fun little story. And I hope I can do this kind of short, but my mom actually worked at a drive-in in the summer of 1980. And she got to show Alien on this. If you've been to a drive-in, you know how big the screen is. Well, my mom was the projectionist, and so this was when, you know, you had the old projectors where you had to switch the cameras and everything. It's getting to the crucial part where Ripley's in the escape pod about to just get the hell out of there. And so it gets right to the point where the alien's about to pop out. And so that's right at the point when my mom has to switch the reels over. She switches the reels over. Boom! Black screen, credits going up in reverse. I shit you not. People are going crazy in the lot. There's cars honking. It took my mom not 3 minutes to get that reel out of the projector on this rewinder, which at the time was a hand crank. Get that thing rewound back in the projector, looped correctly, and running again in no less than 3 minutes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. You know, check out everybody else's on the channel. Once again, Little Rocker Cutie 2005, also known as Andre. I'm telling you to enjoy life, enjoy some Skittles, enjoy some Starburst. I know I say keep it forever horror, but that's a little bit too close to the Jay Sloan's line, and he says keep it horror. I'm gonna say long live the horror. And in the immortal words of my faithful partner Buffy's Uniman on my channel, also known as Chris, he always says, eat some chicken, and I will catch you guys next week on Late Night Frights, or I can catch you guys this weekend on my channel where I will be doing an out and about and an update, so I will either see you then or I will see you next week here on Late Night Frights. Catch you later, guys.